All right, so it's springtime here in central Texas, and all the leaves are coming out on the oak trees, and all the little wild edible plants are sprouting up. So I'm gonna go walk around on our property and see what all I can find. This video is for entertainment only. If you're gonna go out foraging for wild edible plants, you need to make sure and consult a professional and double check, triple check before you eat anything. I've almost made a mistake before, and all it takes is one mistake and then you're over with, so be very careful. Let's go look. The first thing I see is this plantain. I've come across different varieties of it. You can see how the veins go long ways on the leaves instead of in different directions like other plants. I read that you can like chew this up or smash it up and put it on insect stings and stuff like that. I tried it once. I didn't get a whole lot of relief, but hey, and it's edible. And then I like these seed pods. They're really nice and nutty tasting. I'm gonna take a bite of this one. Hopefully the cat didn't pee on it. Here's some wild sunflower. They just pop up all over the place around here. I have in a previous video a couple years back, I would pick the buds that haven't opened yet and boil them and then kind of saute them in some butter and eat them. They're pretty good. And I've also just eaten these leaves. And I found some cut leaf evening primrose. You can eat cook the leaves and I guess other parts of the plant, and like a spinach. And then you can eat the flowers, like in salads and stuff like that. This one sticks like it stays low to the ground, like ground cover type. Here's some mulling. I like having that around. It's what they call it also, like Indian or cowboy toilet paper. It's real nice. Man, it's so soft. It has a lot of medicinal uses. Oh, there's a lot of things I can't name, but I know one thing. It's supposed to help with respiratory, like coughs and stuff. You can actually dry it out and smoke it, and it's supposed to help with chest congestion. And I'm gonna try that out one day. I haven't tried it yet, but because I've been having a cough in the morning, so I want to try that out. Mulling. Here's some, what I looked up, this variety it says is Prairie Sumac. At our other property that we lived on last year, we had winged sumac. But it's not poison sumac. And this one, when it gets big and it starts making seeds, you can see in a previous video I made a couple years ago where I made sumac lemonade. You take the seeds and soak them, do like sun tea and soak them like that, and maybe add a little sweetener, and it's pretty tasty. You can also take the seeds, kind of separate the seeds from the flesh around the seeds and make like a spice. So that's a pretty good plant to have. Here's a good old wood sorrel. These aren't very big. Look at those little seed pods. They look like little okras. This plant's like nice and lemony flavored. I remember being like 8 years old eating this stuff up. Here we got the dewberries. See, the little dewberries are not ready. It'll be a couple weeks or so, and we'll have dewberries all over the place. Be nice. It'll be time for dewberry pancakes. And of course, we've got wild grapes everywhere. I can't never remember if these are muscadine or mustang, but anyway, yeah, we have lots of grapes around here. And this has always been one of my favorites. Needs to focus. pepper grass. Little spicy little seeds on the pepper grass. It's always fun taking these and chewing on them. I'll chew some of those. And then all these yellow flowers here, I'm gonna look at those. And this here is, well, on foragingtexas.com it calls it Texas dandelion or false dandelion. It's also called small flower desert chicory. And you can see all the lobes on the leaves that way, and then this flower is like a dandelion flower, but you see it's got the dark stamens. I found one over a little ways from here that the leaves are quite different, but it's still the same plant. And you can see it has you know, multiple flowers coming off the same stem. I know you can eat the roots and the leaves, but I've been wanting to find out. I've been trying to ask if it's okay, look around to see if it's okay to eat the flowers, which probably is, but I don't know for sure. And you know, with foraging, you have to be 100% sure before you eat things. Here's some thistle. I don't know which one. Sow thistle. No, it's not bull thistle, but the stalks and leaves are edible on that. And you can take the stalk and strip the leaves off and you eat that like celery. Then I found some Greenbrier, which is everywhere. Most people just call it sticker vines. But when in the spring it's young, this is real soft. The tips don't have any thorns, so you can harvest this, break this off, and take this end and go cook it in butter and garlic. Like you just cook it just like you would asparagus. And then see how it's got all the thorns. So in order for you to have the right sticker vine, which is Greenbrier, it has to have thorns and tendrils, which tendrils are the little curly little vines that go out and grab things. And then if you dig it up, you can get the roots, and it has big tuber roots. For like a survival emergency food, you can take that and grind it up and cook it up into like a porridge or something. Go Greenbrier, you know. And of course I've got lamb's quarter everywhere. I guess they also call it, maybe they call it goosefoot. Anyway, that's a nice wild edible plant to have. Cook it up like spinach. You're not a wild edible, are you? Huh? I forgot about the pokeweed. You can make poke salad. Anyway, you want to get it while it's young like this. And you know, a couple years ago, I also made a video. I cooked some of that up cooked it with some bacon. And oh well, I boiled it 3 times and drained the water. You boil it, drain the water, boil it, drain the water 3 times to get rid of I can't remember what it is, but you don't want to eat it. Anyway, then I put it in the skillet and cooked it with some bacon. It's really tasty. Here's some ground cherry popping up. I made a video about it just a while back. It almost looks like lamb's quarter, if you don't know. But it makes the little seed pods look like little lanterns, and you have to wait for those seed pods to fall off and turn yellow. And then there's a little fruit inside that looks like a little tomato, but it's relative of a tomatillo. But they're really tasty. You can make all kinds of things out of those. And here's a type of yucca plant. It's called Adam's needle. It's got the little sharp points. I believe you could, I don't know, it's at a point. But I know the flowers are edible on these. I've tasted a couple of those. They were pretty good. Look, here's a nasty old bull nettle. You're like, well, that's not edible. But actually, if you can carefully, when the seed pods are about to open, you get those seed pods and let them pop open. And those seeds are really tasty, kind of like eating sunflower seeds. Just don't touch that thing, you're gonna be crying. Some more sow thistle. And right next to it, that's a nice big mullein. But anyway, like I said before, this is just for entertainment. So if you're gonna go out foraging for wild edible plants, make sure and do your research, consult a professional, and double check, triple check before you eat anything wild.